a reading on the Leo full moon. It is tomorrow, so tapped into the Leo full moon energy. By the way, this is Lauren Brown with Neptune Moons. Neptune Moons, I am a screenwriter, producer. I am a clairsentient empath. I read tarot and astrology. I'm a Renaissance woman. I do a lot of things. But on this channel, we're going to get really spiritual. So I pulled some collective cards for the Leo full moon, excuse me. We're talking about full moons, which full moons deal with the axis of the sun sign that it's in. So we are in Aquarius right now, and the full moon is in Leo. So they are direct opposites of each other. When we talk about Leo, we talk about fifth house energy. That is our inner child. That is fun. That is creativity, self-expression, and how you shine, how you're on stage, your spotlight, all of that energy. And when we talk about Aquarius, the 11th house, that is your friendships, your groups, your ability to be part of the collective, but still maintain that sense of self, right? So being a unique individual in a world of very different people, right? So when we look at this axis, we look at what you are special, what's special about you, meaning your Leo qualities, what makes you shine, what gives you a big pat on the back. Yay, that's a good job, because we're dealing with your inner child, right? The fifth house is children, so it's like, yay, you did a good job. And then we get to your Aquarius side, your 11th house, and that is you are a weirdo, but I love you. So that is being unique. It's not doing things for approval like the special qualities of Leo in the fifth house. When we get to Aquarius in the 11th house, this is the things that make you out of the box, that make you unconventional, that make you unique, that make you stand out, right? So they are two sides of the same coin, right? Both are elements of being seen, sort of, just being recognized, being seen for different things. So I got a couple of cards. I'm going to go through them, and I'll try not to talk too much about myself, but because I want to like keep my life private, and this is collective. But I do have some things about myself that maybe you guys can relate to. So whenever I was shuffling, I pulled this mirror card, and it says, who or what is triggering you? Who or what is triggering you? We have that one. We have deep replenishment, retreat, rest, and be held. Retreat, rest, and be held. And we also have meditate and contemplate, new moon in Pisces. New moon in Pisces is March, by the way, so March, March could relate to this reading in some way, even though I usually view these in 6-month cycles. We could find that great group in March. So what I got from what is triggering you, the retreat card and the meditate card is, this is a time when what's triggering you is a repeated pattern that is a deep-seated memory. And it's a time when you expressed yourself and it wasn't deemed original enough, because we're dealing with that. So we're dealing with this Leo Aquarius dynamic, right? We have the Aquarius side, the King of Swords represented here. The King of Swords is very logical. You see he is pointing to a book, right? So this is someone who is very learned, very studied, very knowledgeable, educated, has advanced degrees and all of that. But sometimes with this guy, he can get a little like fixated in precision, right? Precision of knowledge, precision of how to do things by the book. Aquarius really isn't that way because Aquarius is outside of the box, outside of the book. However, the read that I'm getting on this one is perhaps there was a time when you expressed yourself And for some of you, it wasn't deemed like the right way to do it. And so that was your Aquarian side speaking up. So that could be 11th house, Uranus, or Aquarius, anywhere in your chart. So, you know, this was a time when you let your freak flag fly, your inner weirdo fly. And because it wasn't by the book, it was seen as not correct. And this created a little demon, a little devil inside of your mind. We have the devil right here, where it's those negative thought patterns that triggered you, right? It's those a time when you got hurt from that situation that keeps replaying in your head, right? And so it's sort of like created this shadow being in your sphere, right? It manifested this shadow being that repeats these criticisms every time you go to do something. And we have the Seven of Wands right here. The Seven of Wands, you see, like a lot of people are attacking her, right? A lot of people are pointing fingers at her. And, you know, so you may be scared by any sort of criticism whenever you put yourself out there. And that may be what's triggering you. And I get it. Like, being in a creative field myself, I deal with a lot of rejection, and you have to have a thick skin. We also have Justice reverse. So Justice, it's like you might have felt some sort of unfairness in this situation, right? Where, you know, I'm getting the energy of like always being there for your friends, but whenever you put yourself out there, your friends might not reciprocate that energy, might not like hype you up, might not cheer you on. And so it kind of feels like you against the world, right? And I can definitely relate to that. The things in my personal life that I wanted to go over is I do have a lot of Aquarian friends, and I love them so much. I've had them like all my life. And I always like run into Aquarians and just, we vibe, man. We get the same, we have the same wavelength, right? We get along with each other. So Aquarius is really near and dear to my heart. Happy birthday, guys. It's your birthday season. And I really appreciate you guys. Y'all are always thinking outside of the box and keeping me on my toes and making me laugh. And I just love you. Like raising my vibes. Anyway, but I had this flashback this morning of a time when I stole a note. You know how you used to pass notes in class? I stole a note from an Aquarius friend that I had, and it was like gossip from another Aquarius friend we had. Who's a friend of me, by the way. She talks crap on all of us. But she was talking crap about me in the note, and she said that I was copying the Aquarian friend that I didn't have beef with, right? And my Aquarian friend that I didn't have beef with, she was like, it was really sweet. She was protecting me. Well, first of all, I shouldn't have stole the note because of privacy. It was the only time I stole a note. But so I shouldn't have done that, you know. Lauren as a kid, you know, I wasn't always perfect. But I think she wanted to protect me from that trash talk. So that was really sweet of her. But I remember how both of my Aquarian friends didn't like their other friends copying them. So there was something that I did where I copied an Aquarian friend where I would put like notes in, like I would box off my notes. And that was something that started from my other Aquarian friend. And so, you know, that was something original that she did. And so they were upset, or I don't know, snarky about me taking on that characteristic. But I mean, you guys are innovators, right? Flattery or imitation is the best form of flattery. So I can like see that now. But if you feel like nothing you will do will be original, I feel like that's holding people back. And you might have experienced this sort of criticism whether it is not being original enough or not being by the book enough. I feel like there was some sort of attack where it was like you against other people that might keep you from expressing yourself now, because it's like, what if it is, there's only like 36 stories in movies and books, literature, all of that. There's only 36 basic stories that we tell. And so it's all about telling it in your unique way, right? So what's blocking some of you might be that your self-expression, the way you express yourself, is not would not stand out enough, would not be unique enough against like all of this other content. Even if, say, we're not talking about movies. Let's say we're talking about your website and how you market. You might have an idea to do something that's very similar to what someone has already done, but you have to keep in mind that 11:11 just went by the clock. You have to keep in mind that it may not be like, it may have elements of copying other people, and that's okay. You can put your own unique spin on it, and I will get more to copying people later on down the line, but I just want to say that, like, the more it's like sometimes, especially in screenwriting, I will write something, and then like a month later, you see this trailer of like the exact movie that you just wrote down, right? And so this happens to quite a few screenwriters actually, and it's frustrating because it's like, man, like I could have had that idea sold. Now I can't like produce this because it's already been done. And that's very true. And you'll also see movies that are similar come out at the same time, like The Prestige and The Illusionist, I think. Both of them were like magician magic movies. So examples like that, right? Similar movies will come out at the same time. And you can balk and say that one movie wasn't as original as the other movie, but at the on a higher level, you can understand that we're all connected to this one idea, and it's just a matter of who gets there first, right? So don't get hung up when it comes to originality, when it comes to being unique, when it comes to being one of a kind, right? Because you can still be special regardless of if it's some, you know, out of the box, wild idea, or if it's just a fairy tale that's retold. So, you know, that's interesting in my particular storyline, because whenever I was a little kid, I would write fairy tales. I would put on stage plays of fairy tales in my backyard. I would get all my friends together, and we would, you know, I'd cast them, and we would decorate the sets and stuff. And it wasn't an original story, but it was told in an original way through the lens of, you know, this goofy little kid who was putting on plays in her backyard, and then we would film it, and so we would have that movie, you know. But it obviously wasn't an original stage play. It was an existing fairy tale, but it was still very special, because what kid does that? You know, like I look at like what I did as a kid, all these like performances I put on, and like, man, you were like ahead of your time for that. Anyway, so I also got the energy that what's holding you back is someone upstaging you. And I can relate to that as well. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time talking about me, but I want to give you, and like I said, I want to keep things private, but I also want to share my experience in case you relate in some sort of way. So I was thinking about where Leo is in my chart. It's in the 8th house, and The 8th house is a house of taboos, and growing up, sort of shining and expressing myself did eventually become a taboo in my household. And you know, both of my parents were life of the party. They are very funny, and they are very, like, big personalities, I think. They might not feel that way, but I think they are. So, you know, they have to get the jokes in, be the stars, be center of attention a lot of times, and that's okay. And oddly enough, friendships were sort of, they sort of made friendships, the way I grew up, I came to see friendships as really like something to be valued, because their friend groups, you know, they moved from their hometown to a town where they didn't know anyone, and so they had to develop sort of a chosen family. Whenever they got to Ardmore, they developed this chosen family with their friendships from the place that they worked with, and the friendships that they developed enabled me to have friendships. A lot of their friends had children around the same age as I was, and so, you know, I was lucky to have that sort of built-in chosen family type of situation. Anyway, so, but they, you know, they partied for quite a long time, and they still like to have fun. And, you know, I think they do radiate to a certain degree, and I like to see them make jokes because they are funny people. But they can be a little show off, and, you know, as a kid, it's embarrassing. Like, when your parents are showing off, it can be embarrassing. They haven't done anything too crazy. It's just, it embarrasses me, right? But, you know, they prioritized friendships, and they prioritized showing off in front of their friends. And sometimes that created some things in me. And, you know, there were substances that were involved too, but that created like situations for me growing up where I felt like I had to be the level-headed parent sometimes. I had to be, you know, the responsible one whenever they were having fun. So I sort of had to hide having fun in order to, like, be sober in the situation, basically. But some of my fondest memories are my dad. He had a camcorder, and my dad videotaping me, me just being silly, like dancing, blowing bubbles, singing along. He's a big music fan, so we always had music in our house. So singing along to the record, you know, and my favorite memories are just him like laughing at me being goofy and silly. But I didn't have that same relationship with my mom. With my mom, it was a little more competitive. And that is also why the Leo side of me became taboo, became part of that 8th house shadow aspect is being behind the scenes was rewarded, like writing those fairy tales was rewarded. Putting on the stage play itself was rewarded, but like whenever I would step into character, that's when things got a little weird. You know, it's like I could feel like the grimace in my mom's face whenever I would like show off versus whenever another kid would show off, it would be like, oh, that's a cute kid. But like, you know, whenever I would show off, I think there was a little competition. I'm grateful that my mom taught me how to compete because the field that I'm in, like, I do have to have that sort of warrior spirit and, you know, fight my way in. And I don't know if I would have had that having any other childhood. But at the same time, expressing myself was always challenged. Like, it was always seen as not enough, or it was overshadowed by her herself. In high school, I started writing songs. Some of you have seen, my guitars. So in high school, I started writing songs, but it was discouraged by my mom because she didn't want me to smoke a bunch of weed like my dad. But I think also there was some level of her sort of being jealous that, you know, I had these musical opportunities. And I know that, I mean, she's a great singer. So I know that she had, you know, those sort of dreams even on a basic level. But, you know, songwriting, I just never felt the like hype from her when it came to like musical stuff, unless it was dance. She wanted to be in dance, so she put me in dance. So, you know, that's like a mini her. I love her, I'm just saying. But what is interesting is that our composite chart, me and my mom's composite chart, our sun is in Leo. So our collective energy between the two of us is Leo. And I can definitely see that, like, struggling to share the spotlight. Whenever I graduated college, you know, I got a degree in screenwriting, and writing was very, like, pushed by my mom, right? Like, you should be a writer, you should be a writer, you should be a writer. So I went through different phases, thought I would do journalism. That didn't work out because I do not live in reality. Thought I would do English. That didn't work out because I do not have the patience for a novel. I need something visual. And like I said, my fondest memories were with a video camera. So eventually went to screenwriting, and then whenever I graduated college, my mom suggested that I live with my granddad. Looking back on that now, I mean, it was a learning experience. Looking back on that now, it's like I should have made my own choice what I did after college, because it created some problems, but that's okay. It was a learning experience. One of the learning experiences was this spotlight, this stealing of the spotlight, you know, it was sort of my turn to stand out and to be in the spotlight. And then she started writing, which is a form of her self-expression, and I'm proud of her. She does a like fictional column in a local newspaper, and it's very cute, and you know, I'm very proud of her for that. However, it was at a weird time because, you know, it was my time to sort of be the writer she always wanted me to be. And then everyone in this small town thought that, you know, she was the writer. And so my writing got overshadowed. And at the same time, you know, I was writing more songs, and I was like deep into the karaoke scene, and or I had gotten out of the karaoke scene, but she started doing this like music club with my granddad, and like I said, that's her self-expression, and I'm proud of her. She's a great singer, but it just came at a weird time when I wanted to express myself, and it was like, you are outshining me. So you know, thinking about the 8th house, Leo in my chart, this would be, you know, intimate partners, people you sleep with. And I have noticed that one of the deal breakers for me in relationships is if you're not supportive of my dreams, of my shine, then I lose interest really quickly. And so I think that's that Leo there. Leo's in my 8th house, so it's like Partners who are supportive and encourage me to shine. I'm really attracted to that. So, wherever Leo is in your chart, I would look at that for this full moon. The full moon is going to be tomorrow, by the way. So the next cards that I got are the Solitude card in reversed, the Protecting Treasure reverse, and the Spirit of Place. I'm going to read Spirit of Place in a second, but, you know, I gave examples of me, but I'm doing this for the collective. So, if there was a time when you felt outshined, when you felt like not original enough, when you felt like someone was upstaging you, when you felt like your idea of fun was different from your friends. That was another thing that I wanted to touch on a little bit is sometimes I feel like whenever I suggest something fun to do, my friends don't want to do it. And so that's that push and pull of Leo and Aquarius, right? That is like my Leo fun doesn't always translate over into my friend's idea of fun, right? So if you feel like you have been upstaged, overshadowed, if you feel like not original enough, not good enough to express yourself, to share your talents, then, and also if you feel like clipped out of a group, like your fun is clipped out of a group, you might have withdrawn, you might have isolated yourself, you might have just turned inward because your voice, your expression, your creativity wasn't valued, your specialness, your I'm not going to take those. And so you may be, with this protecting your treasure, you may be hiding your gifts from the rest of the world. You may be protecting yourself, protecting that expression, protecting your creative talents, your creative abilities, and just keeping them to yourself, maybe not even using them at all, but not expressing it, not sharing it with other people. And with this Spirit of Place, I'm going to read it, but Spirit of Place talks about embodying an energy you want to embody. So I'm getting the sense that I didn't write that down. I'm getting a sense that whenever you do feel rejected, every time you express yourself, yes, it is important to create sort of a sacred space where you can like breathe and reflect, but also when you close yourself off from others, what good is it to keep that light to yourself, keep your inner light to yourself? Why not share it with others? So that's what we're trying to move out of. If you feel like you have been silenced in small ways or big ways, right? And there are other reasons why I have felt silent for some of my self-expression that doesn't have to do with my parents. They are good people, guys. I know it seems like I complain about them a lot, but I don't. I don't mean to. Having being in the Bible Belt, I've had to sort of suppress my self-expression about a lot of things, but then it ends up coming up anyway. So I end up being weird anyway. Okay, so Spirit of Place says, we have it right here. Spirit of Place says, authenticity is the essence of power. Excuse me. Our ancient ancestors believed that every place has a spirit looking after it or embodying it, just as you have a soul. The plants, trees, birds, mountains, and rivers have their own essences. When the Spirit of Place arrives in your reading, it says that the answer to your query is an overarching theme of your circumstances. Is your question about a struggle? The answer is to release and let go of your need to control the situation. If your inquiry relates to finding love, then embody love rather than long for it. Once you find the essential truth that underlies your question, then name it, you'll discover the answer you've been seeking. The greatest power is your authenticity. So we are talking about authenticity as far as your uniqueness, things that make you special, right? So this is your own self-expression. I want to get some clarifiers on these. I also looked a little bit at my 5th and 11th houses. Even though they are not Leo or Aquarius, they are ruled by those signs, so it's good to take a look at those now and see. That's the energy that we're working with here. That's the like culmination of energy. So I have Taurus in my 5th house and Scorpio in my 11th house, and for me, this is about releasing the times I had to throw a grenade in a connection because I didn't feel seen. And so we have the 2 of Swords here, a target, but she's blindfolded. But again, what did I say about not being seen? Right? She's blindfolded. What did I say about not being seen? What did I say about hiding yourself, right? Solitude. Closing off yourself from sharing those gifts. The 2 of Swords is about decision. One more shuffle. We have the 9 of Cups. Ooh, I love it. Notice the 9 of Cups. She's by herself on the beach, and she's just chilling. So, you know, you might have to retreat and go into a place of solitude. But the energy that I got from this is that maybe we have closed ourselves off too much, right? And so rather than retreating... Ooh, yes. Okay, we have the Magician reverse. So rather than retreating out of a sense of not feeling like you're good enough for X, Y, and Z group, right? Not feeling like you're good enough for X, Y, and Z, the X, Y, and Z spotlight, right? This is about your abilities, and what I'm getting from the Magician here is that you have all the abilities, but you have put away your gifts. You have put away your shine. You have put away your the tools you have to express yourself, right? And you know, I'm looking at this target, and it's like, you know, one of the things I'm releasing is friends not wanting to do my kind of fun. You know, and this has been reflected in a lot of different ways. One way I'll just say real quick is going out drinking. I don't really do it anymore, but there was a time in my 20s when I would drink 5 nights a week. And we would have like a keg of beer every night, right? And I got fat on beer. But, you know, now drinking all that, drinking so much, just does not appeal to me. I don't like the hangovers. I don't like feeling like I you know, have something to apologize for the next morning. You know, all the like embarrassments that have added up. I mean, I had like a lot of fun. And, you know, I sowed my wild oats, so I don't have that like feeling in me anymore. But I often struggled with wanting to do these sorts of fun things, and the expectation of the group was always, no, let's go out, let's go party, let's go to this bar, that bar. And so whenever I look at this target, it's like there are different rings on it. And so it's like this outer ring would be going out to the bar. This white ring would be, going to karaoke. The red ring, say that 5 times fast. Red ring, red ring, red ring. The red ring inside would be, going to a concert. The white ring would be getting together and playing an instrument together and just like jamming together, right? And then the target would be like playing for a group, right? So I feel like with this blindfold and with this target, we are throwing swords, right? Throwing swords randomly into the air, right? We're just trying to like, this is telling me like making connections, making friendships with people just randomly. Like, well, I work with this person and, my other friend just had a baby, so I can't hang out with her, so I guess I'll hang out with this friend. So it's sort of unintentional friendships that we're doing here. We're just like blindfolded, shooting in the air, right? But if you took off the blindfold and look around you, meaning get out of this solitude, meaning, with this spirit of place, this is talking to me about going to those places where you want to do those things, right? So like we can throw a knife in any direction and pick up a group who will go to karaoke bars with us. Or we can not go to karaoke bars and go to, live music events. We can, what I just did actually yesterday is I answered a Craigslist ad for Let's Jam. But it was like music stuff, right? And there's not really an intention to be a full-fledged band right now, but you know what? That was more intentional, a more intentional way to find our sense of fun than just accepting whatever is around us. So this is being more intentional about the sorts of fun that we want to have. And also with this magician reversed, you might have to update some sort of equipment or technology or tool that you have. Meaning, if you like to paint, then you might have to get, get a few more acrylics to update your collection, right? Get better paintbrushes. If you are a actor, you might have to take an acting class to update your skills, polish your skills. And while you buy those buy those paints, or while you while you go to that acting class, that investment in it is going to sort of widen the net of your connections with people, the friendships you can make, the people who are going to appreciate this light within inside you, right? Beautiful, beautiful. I love it. I love it. Speaking of new opportunities and new friendships, we have Celeste. Celeste is a new move, a happy home. Why can't I read this? It's a happy move to a new home or place of employment is in the works. This movement will usher in positive new energy. Woo, woo, woo. Will usher in positive new energy. So, you know what? Before I get to that, I'm sorry. I have to use the restroom. Be back. BRB. one in here?
Oh, she's the cutest. She's the cutest. Oh.
Thank you for your patience, y'all. Thank you for your patience. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Celeste says, a happy move to a new home or place of employment is in the works. This movement will usher in positive new energy. Love it. And where are you? And home doesn't have to be like a house move, although it very well could for some of you. But I feel like home is more like a home for self-expression and a safe place to have fun. So, like I said, with this spirit of place, if you feel rejected and like in a sense of isolation, retreating from a lot of people, I would encourage you to find a safe space, a safe home to express yourself, and preferably, this can be done by yourself, but we're talking about sharing our gifts with others, right? We're not talking about hiding ourselves away. We're talking about shining. We're talking about, getting it out there, getting our sense of self out there, right? Excuse me. You can also have a new job coming in that allows you to fulfill that creativity, right? To express yourself and to be special and to also be unique, right? So now is a really good time for making new friendships that will allow you to be successful and will allow you to shine your light. And if you already have a friendship group that is like this is the perfect time to reconnect with each other and to have that fun like you used to, right? We have the world. So when I see the world, sometimes that makes me think the World Wide Web, right? So things online, virtually or online groups, there are certain limitations that we have right now where we can't fully, go to that karaoke bar. But you can at least, foster a group online that will allow you to have that fun, right? We also have the Ace of Swords. So the Ace of Swords is talking to me about our limiting beliefs, our limiting thought patterns. And with the Hierophant right now, I feel like there is this is feeling to me like societal pressure. It's like some of you might be trying to get groups together that in a way that like has never been done before. And so you might face some resistance as far as organizing these groups, because with this Ace of Swords, it's making me feel like that uniqueness, that Aquarian energy where it's like, let's try something new. Let's break it up, right? And this is new home, new employment, new, right? A new home to express yourself. And so I think for some of you, you might be struggling to create these online platforms because people just can't wrap their head around it. And with this Five of Swords, sometimes the Five of Swords talks about conflict, but in this picture, to me, I just feel like it's like a spell that these witches didn't understand. And so it might be hard to start these groups if they are sort of out of the box from what people are accustomed to. So it's hard to like explain what exactly you want to start, what exactly you want to get off the ground, but also it's hard to start because you can't like communicate exactly what you want, but also because it's new, not everyone likes to try new things, unfortunately. People do like to try like tried and true methods, right? Hold on one second, I'm gonna blow my nose. But it is a time to build new relationships that enable you to be both unique and special. So even though existing friends might not resonate with it, you might meet new friends with this element of being online or virtual. I also want to show you some cards that I pulled before, like alongside the oracle cards. We have the Queen of Cups, and I thought about the progression of the Queen of Cups. We start with the Page of Cups, and the Page of Cups is a sweet little innocent child who paints you a picture, and they just want to share an act of love with their mom. They just painted a picture because they liked it, because the colors were pretty, and they wanted to paint a giraffe for their mom, right? And so it's very innocent, very pure sense of creativity. But, you know, when we talk about our inner child, we did things as children that were not for any sort of payoff. They weren't for to make money. They weren't for a profit. They weren't really even for approval. You didn't paint that picture for your mom so that she would like think you were the best artist or anything. You just like painted that picture for your mom because like you wanted to share what was in your head with your mom, right? And so there wasn't a whole lot of motives behind it, right? And then we get to the Knight of Cups, and the Knight of Cups is that romantic, that dreamy sort of person who is like, you know, you are my muse, and I painted this picture of you. So not everyone appreciates that either, right? Why did you make my nose too big? Or why are you stalking me? Paint somebody else. Paint someone who cares. You know, something like that. I don't know. So when we get to the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Cups has that energy of, well, it has both of those energies because they evolved from that point, right? But they have the energy of using their creativity to nurture themselves. They have the element of the Knight where they find these muses, right? They find these inspirations. So you can be inspired by a failed relationship. You can be inspired by a crush. You can be inspired by... She doesn't have... You know, she's grown out of the innocence of the Page of Cups. She's grown out of the sort of shadow aspect when it comes to the desperation of the Knight of Cups, and she decides to fill her own cup. The Queen of Cups has evolved from I drew you this picture, you are my muse, to painting calms me down. So she fills her own cup. She's not doing it for her mom. She's not doing it for her lover. She's doing it for herself. She's filling her own cup so that she has enough love to give to other people, because you know, it could be something as simple as painting something, like painting a Bob Ross painting, right? It's just a random painting of trees, nothing special about it, nothing unique about it, but it calms her down. So the more you can get into that place, whenever you feel sort of a sense of rejection or anything like that, the more you can get to that place, that's the safe space you want to create. And this Five of Cups right here is Five of Cups reversed. And we see up top, we see balloons up here, and there's like a tablecloth, and she's sad about the cups that are spilled, right? But it's reversed. So the energy I got from this card is it reminded me of some sad birthdays that I've had. And the birthday, like, birthdays are supposed to be special, right? Birthdays are supposed to, like, make you shine. It's the time when you're supposed to shine. And I get sad every year. Whenever it comes to my birthday, I try to not think about it, but, it always comes to my mind. My stepdad passed away on my 19th birthday, and my friends were there. It was a really sweet moment, but we cried on the porch eating cake, you know? So it wasn't the best birthday. And then the birthdays following that, they have been very bittersweet and a lot of times painful. But it's funny because this last birthday that passed, I thought about a birthday where my friends got me a piñata. That was so much fun. So we got to smash it, and there were like toy dinosaurs in there and candy and stuff. That was really fun. I would smash piñata on every birthday now. I think it's a great birthday experience. And they also, I see a cat right here. They also got me this like professional cake in the shape of a cat, and it was like a strawberry cake. And so that randomly came to mind this birthday, and it made me realize like maybe I shouldn't be such a brat about my birthday, because there are people who have made it special. But the thing with this card is 5 of Cups reversed, and you know, this sort of birthday party that didn't come to be. It's making me think of, again, those times when you put yourself out there and you wanted to be celebrated, you wanted to, you know, shine your light, and no one was around to see that light, right? No one showed up to the party. This is making me think like having some sort of resilience within ourselves to not take it personally. To just fill our own cup regardless, right? Because if you look at like both of these, it's kind of like the same story, because they're both on a beach. And, you know, this is a party that no one came to, and then this is a person who there's no one around, but she is filling her own cup. So this method of self-expression, whatever art it is that you do, painting, singing, acting, whatever talent you have, whatever gifts you have, these are God-given gifts. And this is something that you might not have always been able to share with other people. And that's okay. You can share those gifts with yourself and fill your own cup and give yourself a sense of fulfillment, regardless of if anyone is there to watch it. And I know that is that might be a frustrating message to some of you, but I feel like whenever you can cultivate that sense of self, whenever you can fill your own cup like that. Hold on one sec. It's going to put you in a position. We have the 7 of Pentacles, and the 7 of Pentacles is a card about patience, but also like incremental work, like building up your work, being patient, being focused. It is like a gardening card, right? So you have to like water your plants. You have to give them the right amount of sunlight and sort of nurture them. So this is like nurturing your creative abilities, nurturing your talents, nurturing your gifts, so that every time you feel the need to, you know, have to go in and withdraw and fill your own cup with this self-expression, with this these arts, this talent, you would have built up a portfolio by the time it comes around to express them, to show them. And there will be a time to do that, because next up we have conclusions are within reach. This is full moon eclipse. I don't know when the next eclipse is. We have yes. Yes. Just say yes. We have don't dim to fit in. How are you dimming your light in order to fit in? And we have priestess. How are you being called to step up and lead? And we have time to take action. New moon in Aries. New moon in Aries is going to be in April. Yeah. Either late March or early April. And so we talked about how March might be significant. March and then April might be significant when these groups start to form. What did we say about March? March might be the time when you get into this zone, of filling your own cup and using that self-expression to meditate. We have the new moon in Pisces, meditate and contemplate. Meditate doesn't have to be, sitting in a yoga pose, and like zeroing out your mind. Meditating can be your self-expression. It can be, painting, because it zeroes out your mind in a different way, right? So it doesn't have to be, this yogi person, right? Where are you? It doesn't have to be this type of situation, right? Meditation does not have to be that. It can just be, it can be using those talents and gifts to reflect on bigger problems in your life, or sort of balance out bigger problems in your life. So, also, I want to say with this birthday party, by creating this space for yourself, you actually create more space for those who can appreciate your art, and for those who will value your shine, value your uniqueness, and your ways of being special, right? So I drew the Lovers reversed for this next line that we're talking about. This conclusions are within reach. Yes, don't dim to fit in. How are you being called to step up and lead, and a time to take action? So you have practiced all your going within. You have practiced using this means of self-expression in your own little world, right? So there is going to come a time, there are going to be opportunities, like I said, I think it's really going to pick up in April, where you will be able to connect with people who are on your wavelength, who are on your, like the right vibration, right? And I think it's important to act quick and seize those opportunities, and just know that you will be seen in this group, is what I feel. And this is, these means of self-expression are going to be part of your calling, and you can sort of like shine with others, right? With this Lovers reversed, I feel like there were too many connections that were not a vibrational match. And so this is like realignment into the right vibrational matches for you, that will actually see you, right? That will actually like value your self-expression, will value like what you have to say, will value your talents, will value your gifts. I think I skipped this one. We have Xana. You are protected from all types of harm. The worst is now behind you. I ask you to relax and feel safe. So you have protection around you to, so that these naysayers, like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the naysayers say. So I think stepping away and turning in on yourself was good, but that doesn't mean that you have to disregard people altogether, because as you might have felt like left out and unseen, you might have had to go within, and as you have gone within, you have cultivated this sense of authenticity. And the more you have cultivated this sense of authenticity, the more you're able to shine to the right people, and to be that vibrational match to the right people. We have the Five of Wands reversed. So the Five of Wands is a card about competition. This group that you're moving into, there will be no competition with each other. You will value their shine. They will value your shine. You will hype each other up. You will genuinely be excited for the work that they put out, and they will genuinely be excited for the work that you put out. There is none of this like, I have to be top, I have to be better than them. No, this is like, we all shine, right? Like, we are a badass group, and they're awesome, I'm awesome, and with our powers combined, we can rule the world, right? I love that, guys. I love that. I think we are being more connected with our soul tribe, and it wouldn't surprise me if this really heats up in March and April for us as a collective. We have the King of Cups. So we've progressed, I talked about the progression from the Page of Cups to the Queen of Cups. Now we have the King of Cups. That's the biggest progression. So the King of Cups for me is someone who is really loving and gives the best hugs, and they're like a sensitive teddy bear, and they're like a really good host. They are a really good friend. Like, they really like care about their friends. They listen to their friends, and they tear up at movies, and so they're not afraid to be like sensitive and express themselves emotionally, but they share it with others. So while the Queen of Cups might have to retreat sometimes because she might feel like she's being taken for granted, this is a big mama card. So like, think about all the sacrifices moms have to make, especially me talking about my mom earlier. Think of all the sacrifices mamas have to make, and how they might not get to shine as much, right? But it's okay because they go within and they fill their own cup, and yeah. But the King of Cups, it's like, I get this energy with what we're talking about now is sharing your shine, right? Sharing your shine with others. So like I said, this is a great listener. So this guy can listen, can see his friends, right? Can see their shine, can recognize their shine, and can shine himself, right? Can express his feelings. Reversed, I see the King of Cups as someone who can't express their feelings. Sometimes they have trouble with that, but in this reading, and upright, I see the King of Cups as someone who's very emotionally expressive and comfortable with their emotions, right? I also got the Six of Wands reversed. This is definitely about not feeling like you can be recognized. So you might have some latent fears sort of bubbling underneath the surface that you don't want to take these incoming risks or these incoming opportunities to make new friends, to have fun, to collaborate with others creatively. You might not want to take those risks because, it's a very, I definitely understand like a struggle between being a wallflower and then sort of like craving fame even on like a small level, right? It's like fame scares me sometimes, and I feel like sometimes it's like being recognized, being seen. Sometimes it creates this expectation, like I have to live up to that. I have to always like be on top. You're more seen, so more of your shadow self is seen. More of the stuff I'm not proud of is seen and dug up, whenever you do shine, you also trigger other people because, like, you can trigger their darkness whenever you shine. And so having people jealous of you is not fun. So there are aspects of shining and being seen that scare me. But ultimately, being unseen does hurt my feelings sometimes. So double-edged sword. So I can understand not wanting to be seen or being scared of being seen. Maybe you're scared of messing up, embarrassing yourself, anything like that. And this is urging you to look past those fears of being in the spotlight and recognizing that this is a time to take action. This is a time to step up to the gifts that God gave you, actually. We have death reversed. So this is something that never died within you. This is something that you constantly think about, a talent, creative expression, creative outlet that you always think about. It might be something like an art form that you still do, but it's just you may be hiding it from the world. And this is something that's not going to go away. It's not going to die. So this sort of nudge within your belly, right, that you need to write that book, that you need to paint that picture, that you need to, express yourself in a creative way. It's only going to get worse. So you might as well answer the call now, right? For our last oracle cards, we have show simple acts of kindness. It says a simple act of kindness can energize you and bring happiness to those around you. We also have express love through gifts. Giving a small token to someone expresses your love to them. And then we have faith. Trust your faith in this situation. So what I got from this is the gifts that God gave you, the natural abilities, whether it is, that visual aspect of painting, a great voice to sing. God gave you these abilities to share with others. Like they're a gift to you and you make it a gift to others. You give others the courage to express themselves, right? So it's not just about you, it's about others. And I feel like with this have faith, you need to have faith that it will resonate with certain people, that it will be seen by the right people, it will be appreciated by the right people. And, maybe it's not now, and that's okay. But holding on to your talents is an act of kindness. Like I said, a simple act of kindness can energize you and bring happiness to those around you. I love making people laugh. One of the fears of me being a stand-up comedian is hecklers. I am sensitive. I mean, you have seen me sometimes whenever people trigger me in the live comments. I didn't have the siblings to to make me have that thick skin, I guess. So, I love making people laugh, but hecklers scare me. So I don't have this burning in my belly to be a stand-up comic, but what I'm saying is bringing joy to others, bringing happiness to others, energizing others, like that gift of comedy inside of me. Whenever I do share it, whether it's just making a joke in front of friends or if it is someone who said they laughed at my screenplay, then that is an aspect of myself that was able to energize someone else, that was able to bring happiness to them. It's one of my favorite things in the world to make people laugh. So, in my workspace and my friends, anytime I make someone laugh, it's the best feeling in the world. But, someone could also be inspired by a painting you paint or by a song you write. So that is an act of kindness. Sometimes we may feel like we are overstepping, inserting ourselves, hogging the spotlight or whatever. But others will appreciate that spotlight because you have given something to them that has lightened them up, right? We have the Queen of Pentacles right here. So this is about knowing your self-worth. And the Queen of Pentacles, when we talk about gifts, self-worth and gifts, the Queen of Pentacles is a thrifty person. So she doesn't spend a whole lot. So not spending a whole lot of energy trying to gain others' approval, but just naturally being yourself and understanding that when you do decide to share something, that the right people will receive it. We also have the Eight of Cups reversed. So this is telling me it might be something that you walked away from, a skill, a talent, a creative outlet that you walked away from, but now it's time to return to that. But how can those who will appreciate your gifts find you if you hide your shine, right? So this is about having that self-worth to share your creative talents, your God-given talents, and to make others feel light. I was also thinking about, despite my sort of fears of fame and fears of being in the spotlight, I know I have that ability. One time I was in Home Depot, not thinking, I was just getting like houseplants or something. And this guy was like, LEB? I was like, what? And he was like, LEB. And I was like, yeah, that's me. That was the stage name I used for karaoke. It's just a dumb karaoke night, right? And I didn't know that guy, but he was so moved by my karaoke performance that he noticed me in Home Depot. So I know that I have that stage presence. But, there's something about me, about my self-expression that needs work. That scares me. And, whenever I used to write songs in high school, and I would have to like share them, especially with a guy, then I would just cry and like melt down and get like insecure. So I couldn't share them. And now I don't even know, how that would be. I'm good at like having that stage presence with other songs, but when it comes to like singing my songs and expressing my songs, like, ooh, can be a challenge, but I think all of us need to share our gifts with the world, share our shine with the world, so that more of us can shine. And if someone gets triggered by our shine, then that's on them and that's not on us, right? We have the Three of Swords reversed. I think this is also going to be a healing experience for those past experiences where you got hurt sharing your shine, where you got hurt expressing yourself, and it was met with sort of that rejection, right? We also have the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is a card about action. So this is a healing element for all those times that your self-expression got rejected, and it created a situation where you lost your ideas, you lost your enthusiasm to write that song, to paint that painting. So this is getting back into the habit, where are you? The habit of building up that portfolio of work, even if you're not going to sell it, building up those abilities so that you can have the confidence in yourself, right? And so you can share that sort of expression with others and be that light for someone else, right? If you were moved by a song or, laughed from a movie, then you can give that to someone else. If that creator had never shared it with you, then you would never have gotten that joy, that fulfillment out of, that piece of art. So those are my messages for the collective reading. I love you very much. I will see you tomorrow on the full moon. Full moon is tomorrow. I'm not sure what time, but full moon in Leo, sun in Aquarius. I hope it's good for everyone. I love you very much. I will see you next time.